What is Kingdom Hearts, and why is it so popular? Kingdom Hearts is the unexpected love child of Disney and Square Enix. You take a bunch of famous properties that people remember fondly from their childhood, you add in some ambiguous and confusing evil presence, and people naturally gravitate towards saving these worlds, and begin to unravel the mystery of whether this plot will ever make any sense. Sora is our main character, usually, and he travels around to various Disney worlds to defeat evil creatures with the help of classic Disney characters like Donald and Goofy, and his magical sword that can unlock anything, a Keyblade. Sprinkle in a few Final Fantasy fellas there too, and you've got the basic gist. Alright, now that's as caught up as we're gonna get, so let's talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. Levels new and old have never looked this good before. Olympus returns yet again and is literally towering to mount. Twilight Town has been substantially neutered since the last time we saw it, and the same can be said for the 100 Acre Woods, which is now just an overglorified game of Bubble Bobble. Toy Box is incredibly inspired in so many ways and stands out as the all-star level of the game. Kingdom of Corona starts off slow and begins to get interesting leading up to the final moments. Monstropolis, for being such a unique location, has such a muted voice, while Arendelle is a complete mess that's too afraid to commit to its own resolution. The Caribbean is beautiful to look at and interesting to explore, although the story and objectives are a complete snore. San Francisco has great synergy with the existing story, although the map is less than exciting. So is Kingdom Hearts 3 the best or the worst game in the series? The combat, unsurprisingly, is fantastic. Swapping between physical and magical attacks has never been so fluid. No longer must you stand still while casting spells, as you can now slide and dodge around enemies while bombarding them with various elemental attacks. The combat is really, truly great this time around, and the story is, let's say, serviceable. The game largely parallels the plot from Kingdom Hearts 1, and attempts to wrap up many of the loose ends from throughout the series. There's no denying that it's fun to play and beautiful to watch, but it's dreadfully short and has this weird buckshot approach to its storytelling. The story manages to connect a couple of times. By the time it hits the bullseye, the target has already been so ripped and shredded to smithereens that it's hard to separate the meaning from the noise. The Kingdom Hearts team tried to accomplish too much with too little, and ultimately suffers from a rushed, hollow, and unfocused delivery. Let's really look at this story chronologically for a second. We see Sora and his BFF Riku saving one of our heroes from way back from who knows when. This starts a chain of events wherein all of our heroes from back at the beginning of the story have rejoined us. Great. So far so good, right? But then this is where Kingdom Hearts 3 lost me. We spend all this time, literally decades, gathering up all these heroes together. More than I've even mentioned so far. And then all of them get shelved before the final battle. It doesn't make any sense. We finally assemble this team of heroes that have been waiting to come back and defeat this villain for so long. And then for almost no reason at all, Sora is sent in to finish the fight alone. Literally, everyone sits on the sidelines, including numerous Keyblade masters, of which Sora is not. Donald and Goofy go with you though, even though they're the only two people at this point that don't have a Keyblade. Literally everyone else has a Keyblade. Don't get me wrong, the team move at the end of the game is so hype, but there's no reason why this couldn't have been done with anyone else. This is the first game where you can have a party of 5 with you, and I think there's a solid case here for Sora to have finished this off with his best friend and with the 3 original heroes from the beginning of the story. It doesn't make any sense to me. The people don't play Kingdom Hearts because the story makes sense. There's no denying that these games are a ton of fun to play if you enjoy any of the existing properties and have a healthy suspension for disbelief. But the constant cliffhangers and cash grabbing is really starting to turn this series into the game that will never end. Kingdom Hearts, at its core, is the combination of Mickey Mouse and Final Fantasy. And Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't have a single Final Fantasy character. Just to put this into perspective, this means that Tekken 7 and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate both have better Final Fantasy representation than this mainline Kingdom Hearts game. It's so weird and bizarre that you almost can't help but laugh. I still find Kingdom Hearts 2 to be a pleasure to go back and replay, but I'm finding the series harder and harder to recommend as it twists and mutates beyond its reasonable boundaries.